Hi, I'm Shane Bang with Mana Group, and I'm back today to talk about home affordability. If you've been in the market for a home or been shopping for a home, these high interest rates combined with inflation has made it very difficult to own or purchase a home. And you have felt that pain of that point. A current study recently conducted about home affordability as a whole, it showed we would need one of three things to happen in order for home affordability to go back to its normal levels. So, one option would be a 32% increase in income. So, if we saw personal wages grow, right? So, if all of a sudden you're making 32% more, then home affordability would be at the more normal or average amount. Another option would be a 25% discount in home prices. So, your $400,000 house all of a sudden being worth just $300,000. That would put home affordability back in its normal range, and we wouldn't be feeling such discomfort over the existing affordability issues. The final option is a 1.5% drop in mortgage rates. So, current mortgage rates right now are about 6.5 right now. So if we saw those drop all the way down to 5%, that would put home affordability back in that normal range. So of those three options, mortgage rates dropping is probably the most likely. You're not going and walking into your job, unfortunately, and getting a 32% increase in your salary. As nice as that would be, and as much as we'd all be happy about that, we'd love to see that. That's probably unlikely. There are some people that feel as though there is a housing bubble out there, and that there's going to be a drop in prices. There may be some softening in prices, and we have seen the market plateau, and we have seen some softening. Year over year, we still saw 3% growth last year per home appreciation. So values did grow on the average. Obviously, every market is a little bit different. Um, the the likelihood of a 25% drop in home prices is very unlikely, and also be really devastating to our current market and our current situation. So, not something I would say we want to see happen. It'd be bad for our economy as a whole. A 1.5% drop in mortgage rates is a lot more possible reality. I also want to talk today about a solution that's become much more common. I don't think personally, I don't believe interest rates are going to drop 1.5% in any relatively soon time frame. I would not be shocked or surprised to see that much of a drop in, let's say, 2 years would kind of be we need to see a steady drop in interest rates to, continue to fight inflation, and not just, if we went and set the housing market or the money markets on fire, inflation could come roaring back. There could be other problems with the economy. So sometimes taking it nice and easy is a good thing. So I would say, let's hope in 2 years we can see that. Well, that's really problematic if you're trying to buy a house um, you know, now or sooner than 2 years. However, a very attractive option is what we call temporary rate buy downs. And so the way you do this is, let's say there's a $400,000 house that is for sale. That's about the average here in the Spokane area. The seller can offer to pay for a temporary rate buy down. This is especially helpful in homes that are looking at like price reductions or trying to get their house sold because the price has not, the market hasn't helped get it sold. In this scenario, what happens is the seller and or the buyer can do a temporary rate buy down, and they can buy down. There's 2-1 buy downs, there's 3-2-1 buy downs, there's 2-2 buy downs. The options are pretty wide open. And what that means is let's say you do a 2-1 buy down, you're gonna buy your rate down 2% the first year. So instead of 6.5% interest rate, you're gonna drop to 4.5% interest rate for the first year. The following year it'd be a 1% buy down. So instead of 6.5, you'll have 5.5%. So that starts to move that needle on affordability a lot more to where you want to be, in the normal range. The very nice thing about these, so say if you went a little bit more aggressive and did like a 3-2-1 buy down, 3%, 3% buy down the first year would represent, instead of 6.5%, you'd have 3.5%. So your payment would be very affordable that first year. Then it would jump up to 4.5%, then 5.5%. Likely at that time, as market predictions are going, we think that interest rates will come down. So at some point in that year 2 mark, give or take, 3 or so months, you could complete a refi. And the nice thing with the temporary buy downs is the way they work is that buying the rate down is set aside in an escrow account. So if you got to, let's say we got to a year and a half and you decided, you know what, we can refi, interest rates have dropped down from 6.5 all the way down to 5.25. You can use the funds that are in that long-term escrow account to pay for your refinance, and it'd be a very effective way. So I really like this option. Obviously, there's a lot more intricacies to it, a lot more details, but it is a nice option to make housing affordable now, and also with the hope that rates start to cool and come down. So if you have more questions, as always, feel free to comment, reach out, call. Love to discuss these options with you. Talk to you soon.